Our guest today is Andy Gupta. He, along with his wife Deepa, they are the co-chairs of AIF Fundraising Gala this year. We are going to talk to Andy today about what is new this year and what we are going to expect there. Andy, welcome to our studio.
Good to meet you, Pedro. Thank you.
Sure, and we are looking forward to your gala. I have attended every year since it started.
Yes, you've been involved right from the beginning.
Yes, absolutely. So, Andy, before you get into the nitty-gritty of the gala, tell us what is new this year.
Sure. So, we're introducing a few new things. The biggest change is a theme we have introduced, which is to inspire. And it's inspiration to take action, inspire to make a difference, and inspire to give, not just financially, but through your time and your effort. And the way we are trying to do this is through a beneficiary that we're going to bring from India, through videos that'll be short but impactful, so you can be very close to these programs in India, sitting so far away from here. How do you connect to these programs?
So, Andy, during the off-camera, you were talking about a girl who is going to come here to Boston Gala.
Yes.
And she cannot see.
Yes.
But she's employed, right?
Yes, that's right. So,
and the interesting number you gave, that only 2% disabled people in India are.
That's true. It's quite sad that less than 2% of the disabled in India are employed. And I think if one is a woman, then the stigma is even greater, unfortunately. The woman that we're going to have come this year attend our gala, she's visually impaired, and she has benefited from a program that supporters like yourselves have given. It's called ABLE, and it's a way to train the disabled to find a vocation, to give them independence, to give them dignity and permanent employment, so they can live their lives independently. And you will hear from her. We'll interview her during the gala and be inspired by her story.
Now, this again leads us to another question, that what are the other main activities of AIF in India?
Sure. So really there are 3 to 4 pillars that AIF supports. So one is education. And through education there's a program called LAMP, where 70 million people, the numbers are staggering, 70 million people are migrant workers. What I mean is, say, a family who makes bricks. They travel to different parts of the countries and they take the young kids with them. And there's a story of this young child. She's from Orissa. And now when she reflects back on her youth, she says, tears roll down my eyes when I think of those days when my parents would take me to these brick kilns. And my job was to flip these bricks. I was barefoot in scorching sun, and my job was flipping these bricks. And I was taken out of school. And unfortunately, this happens with 25 million children in India. They're taken out of school, and this leads to high dropout rates. So through this program at LAMP, AIF funds these hostels. And this provides permanent place for these children to live while their parents are finding work elsewhere. And when the parents come back, they go back and stay with their parents. But at least it brings continuity for them to provide education and the basic necessities.
And also through the LAMP program, I think AIF has been quite innovative, getting this younger, new generation involved in fundraising activity. If you can talk a little bit about that. Sure.
So that's our youth program that you're referring to, and I think you had profiled 5 young women. So this is to involve the high school youth in AIF. There are multiple ways to get involved. One is this digital social media program, fundraising program that we've started 2-3 years ago. And there are several children who have been so resourceful in fundraising in their communities. A couple of these young women, Priya and Maya Thakur, Aryan Dia Anand, Sanya Goenka, Aisha Sharma. These children have raised $25,000, which is incredible. A couple other young ambassadors are so generous. Srinotra and Nikita Patel gave all of their proceeds from the Arangetram to AIF. So this is our youth ambassador program where the younger generation, who unlike us, where a lot of us grew up in India, this younger generation has grown up here, and they feel some level of connectedness to their heritage, and they want to make a difference to this child who might be their age across the seven seas, and saying, I live a privileged life. How can I make a difference to the lives of these children or of these people who are marginalized in India in my own way? So it's very inspiring to see that.
Excellent. And I think you're the theme of the inspiring. I think that's a wonderful theme to, for inspire people to, to act and to give and give for the cause they really love. So.
And hopefully our goal will be that through our actions and through the beneficiary who you will hear from, through these videos, through the interactions with supporters like yourself and several others, people will feel inspired, will really want to make a difference.
So every year AIF always raises the bar when it comes to fundraising and doing a fantastic event. So what is the sequence, what is the program is going to be like this year?
Sure. So we're gonna try and do things a little differently, change it up a little bit. So we're gonna start with a cocktail hour. It's gonna be an hour and a half, and that will be a good opportunity for people. A lot of our attendees wanna use this opportunity to meet their friends and connect. So it'll be an hour and a half long networking with great food this year. And then we'll migrate into the reception hall, and we're going to keep it very streamlined. We're going to have fewer speeches. We're going to start off with some entertainment. We're going to hear from the beneficiary. We have a couple of VIP guests.
So any particular name you want to
share
with us?
So Javed Jaffrey, who has entertained Indian audiences for decades.
Sure.
Famous comedian. Has been gracious to accept our invitation. He's an ambassador for AIF in India, and he's going to be attending the gala. It'll be nice to interact with him, spend some time with him. We have an MC, Anish Shah, who is a
comedian, right?
a very funny guy. He's one of those upcoming Indian comedians here, based out of New York. He's going to be entertaining the audience. He's going to be our MC. And of course, we've got our beneficiary from India, so we will interview her. And there are some surprises for the evening. I won't put all the secrets out.
Sure. And every year you guys have an auction there too. So
yes.
Will it happen this year as well?
Yes, I think the live auction is a key part of AIF. Several of our attendees look forward to this. There's some amazing art that we're assembling for this year. Amazing experiences. So that adds a fun element in the evening to raise money and enjoy some beautiful art and experiences.
Now, putting together such a massive program is not easy.
Yeah.
And so you must have a lot of team work going behind this. So who are some
Absolutely.
of how the whole the volunteers are organized?
Sure. No, absolutely. This is a big team effort, and there are about 25 people involved in the day-to-day planning and running. So the way we've organized it, there's a fundraising committee made up of our trustees and the Council of Governors that meets every week to strategize, to plan. And then there are another 15-20 people who are organized to organize the live auction, to organize the pledge drive, to organize different parts of the evening, the entertainment, to make sure that our guests are well taken care of, that you all have a very good time, and also you leave the evening inspired and having learned more about AIF and what we've done in the last year, and hopefully you walk away saying this is a program that I want to support.
And the event is in March, right?
March 18th at the Boston Copley Marriott Hotel.
And in the evening around 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
That's right.
Excellent. And and the main volunteers are, of course, you have plenty of them, but you have also mentioned the Council of Governors,
yes,
which you started last year, right?
Yes. So the Council of Governors is a new idea we've introduced last year. So AIF was founded about 10, 12 years ago, and here in New England we're celebrating our 11th year. And the trustees have been such a key part of making AIF what it is today. Increasingly, we are making AIF into a more institutional organization in India and in the United States. So, for example, Ajay Banga, who is the CEO of MasterCard,
Sure.
Has just come on as a co-chairman with Lata Krishnan. Alex Counts, who has decades of experience, founded Grameen Foundation, has just come on as our CEO, and we're very excited about it. And one of the things we're doing locally is this multi-generational involvement of Indians and Americans to provide longevity to AIF. So last year we introduced Council of Governors, who works with the trustees. We're a group of 6 diehard AIF supporters,
Sure.
who look to get involved and plan some programs and spread the word.
So how many chapters AIF has here
Sure.
in the US?
So AIF has 10 chapters in the US. New England is the 4th largest after New York, San Francisco, and Chicago. And where we're moving to is trying to create smaller chapters where there are clusters of Indians and Americans, Indian aficionados. So you will see that evolve over the next few years, is a further outreach across the United States.
Yeah. So Andy, earlier you mentioned the LAMP program of
Sure.
AIF. What are the other programs which are favorites of AIF?
Sure, yeah. So the programs are organized in 4 silos. One is education, where LAMP is a key program. Another one is to improve livelihoods. So that's through training the youth. There are a lot of underemployed youth that don't have the right skills and training. So there's a program that supports them. There's a program that trains the disabled, as we had talked about before. And there's a program called the Rickshaw Sangh, which enables young people to own rickshaws and provide livelihood for themselves. It's almost like a small business owner. Another silo is public health, which is a program which is very dear to me. It's called MANSI, which effectively is a program to reduce maternal deaths and newborn deaths. And the numbers are staggering.
Which is very high in India.
Very high. 25% of maternal deaths worldwide happen in India. The most number of newborn deaths happen in India. And as I dug into this more, what was shocking is most of these deaths are avoidable. It's either lack of education. These are remote parts of India where they do not know what to do in terms of weighing a baby, or when should the first milk be given to the baby. There's just basic things, cleanliness, where education can make a big difference. So that is a program where there's been tremendous improvements. We've been measuring our statistics. And I've got a quote here from a mother who lost a child and has now become a worker as part of a program. And she travels into the depths of these villages to educate young mothers. And this is what she had to say. It's very inspiring. She lost her child. And this is what she says: "I will save each and every child of my village so that there is not a single helpless mother in the village like me who can do nothing but wait and watch her child collapse in front of her." Now, when you think of that as a parent, it's very sad that a mother can be helpless and you lose your child. And this is something that we're actively trying to change in India.
Good. Now, one more time, I wanted to talk to you about the the fundraising
Sure.
by AIF nationwide.
Yeah.
So the number is about roughly.
So we raise about, there are 10 chapters, we raise about $6 to $7 million every year. And in New England, we do between 750,000 to a million. And we're hopeful that we can keep increasing this number every year as we reach further into building awareness of AIF.
And my last question to you is, as far as I remember, this is the first time
Yeah.
you have just husband-wife team as a co-host of the program.
No, it actually is an annual feature. So
Okay.
last year we had Santana and Namita, who were along with Farida and Imtiaz
Right.
as co-chairs.
Right.
So of course, when a couple is there, we.
So this time only the Gupta couple is there, right?
As it's turned out, yes, it's Deepa and me. But like I said, it's an entire team who, of course, is led by our dynamic head of development, Nirmala Garmala, and Suchitra Krishnan, who works with Nirmala, providing the day-to-day support. So it's a big team effort. Like I said, about 25 people involved in the planning. So hopefully you guys, the supporters who come to our gala, will have a fun evening and really enjoy yourselves. It's going to be a big party, a big celebration of ideas, and you leave the evening inspired about the change that you and us together are making for people in the
Now I let you go. This prompted me another question.
Sure.
Is I just want to do your take on philanthropy, for example.
Yes.
That what really inspired people to give.
Yes.
And when I am coming to AIF Gala or go to any big event
Yes.
where the cause is worth
Yes.
going and
Yes.
supporting,
Yes.
what should go in my mind? Why should I give?
Sure. So I'll tell you it's difficult for me to speak for others. I can perhaps share what prompts Deepa and me to give, to give to AIF.
Sure.
And it's really, I think there needs to be a personal connection. And, I grew up in India. My wife grew up here. But I've seen misery around me when you grow up in India. You see the marginalized people. You see the distinction between the rich and poor. And I think that awareness that I've been grateful to have what I have. And if we can be enablers to make a lasting impact on someone's life, whether it's preventing a death because they don't have the right resources, or providing education to a young child that can transform their lives. When you think about the impact you, along with a bigger community, can collectively have on the next generation of marginalized people in India, that is pretty inspiring.
Now, what about that? One thing I hear sometimes
Yeah.
people talking about is, that what about if people are going, contributing, hundred thousands of dollars, 10,000, 5,000.
Yes.
And if I don't have that $10,000
Sure.
to contribute, I have only $500 or
Yes.
$600.
Yes.
Is that really going to make any difference?
Absolutely. Look, no amount is small. $10 will make a difference. It's the collective power, right? We have very generous supporters who will write checks for 50,000, 100,000, and that's great. We have people contributing at all levels, but let me assure you, no amount is small. And if we can collect $10 donations, $50 donations from several people who are inspired to make a difference, every amount is what makes a difference. Let me just put some numbers in your mind. To help educate a community worker to go and help a woman who's pregnant, that costs us about $25. That's not a big cost. To provide the hostel for a young child in the LAMP program, the annual cost is $60 for a child. So you can see how your $10 contribution, your $50 contribution can make a big impact. And of course, when people want to give large sums, of course that makes a very big difference, and we're very appreciative.
Excellent. Andy, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you on March 18th.
We look forward to having you at a gala.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.